Someone's won the local raffle prize. There's excitement. The Chook raffle. There's drama down in the stands. There's 2 winning tickets. And there's going to be a fight, it looks like, for the Chook between one of the... Here we go, though. Singapore versus Malaysia. Game 21 today. Just 4 games remaining. It's the local grudge match between 2 neighbours, Singapore and Malaysia.
Well, Singapore got the victory in the last leg in Hong Kong, didn't they? It got them the 6th place. There is never any love lost between Singapore and Malaysia, whether it's 15 sevens, men's or women's. Have a look there, of course, of Samuel Yao and Malaysia, Rusli, Azimi, slippery customers. Nazarudin on the bench, not starting. Ismail in the front row.
Matt Rodden from the Hong Kong Society of Referees, 7 specialists, and I'd like to say hello to his mother, who watches all of his games. Happy birthday for tomorrow, Heather.
You are just a cauldron of facts and figures.
And I'd like to add that he's the fittest referee here, the beep test of 21, which is better than virtually all Sevens players, incredibly fit. And he won the laws quiz. They have a laws quiz last night, all the referees. He got the highest score. So we've got a professional, he is a professional referee. And we get underway. Both teams have only scored a try apiece today. So this is a chance for both of them to score a few more and show what they can do. And effectively decide who finishes up 3rd in their group, Group B, a weaker group. And the loser of this game has the misfortune of playing 3rd place in Group A, which will probably be Japan. But they could take Japan, who knows?
Well, they've got a new captain, Singapore, Ishra Mara. And Daniel Chow, their experienced campaigner. And great to see Samuel Teo back in the squad. Last saw him in the SEA Games Sevens. Singapore got the bronze medal. Philippines the gold.
Here come Malaysia now after a big run down the right side by Azidin. And here's their other big man, Sadiq. Look at him get the big legs pumping. He's all elbows and knees as the big man. Zulisham. And hands will do it. Azri decides he doesn't need the numbers. Has he made the wrong choice here? Yes, he has. Oh, that's lucky. That looming up comes Aswan. He virtually butchered that one with a 3-man overlap.
He did indeed, and his coach is going to be pretty upset with him because convention would say he should have passed that to his right, as you point out. Aswan Madzizi's got it eventually, but it was hard work and very unconventional way of going, and that is not the way to do it. But they got there, Malaysia. They've got first points on the board.
Could be a roasting on the bus for him back to the hotel, and off the post the conversion, so it's 5-0, early lead to Malaysia.
Here it is. We're not seeing the prelude to that. But that's Izzy there in screen. Had the easiest job. And you can see already the difference in the attitude and intensity of Malaysia. And that's purely because they're playing Singapore, most likely.
Grow an extra leg.
Always. They won Division 1 in the 15-a-side game back in May in Kuala Lumpur.
Good restart from Malaysia, nice and high, putting pressure on the catcher, Ishraf. But they've earned themselves a penalty, and the big booming left boot of Naresh Kunasegaran now should get them down comfortably into Malaysian territory. Look at this man kick a ball.
Lovely follow through. That's for all those youngsters watching, tuning into our coverage here on YouTube. The Asian 7 Series.
Thanks for joining, youngsters.
That's what you'd kick. Follow through, head down. Nice and easy.
So 10 metres inside the Malaysia half now, and taken off the top by Zaki, who puts his head down and gets 3 or 4 valuable metres. The back line's very deep and wide as Kunasegaran decides to take on the defensive line. Matt Rodden penalises the Malaysians again. This is Brian Ung. He could probably just, this is Nicholas Yao, sorry, number 10. Just testing the defence there, just seeing if it was going to bend or not. Yao now swings it away to Teng. The sloppy handling has cost him some metres there, but it doesn't matter. Picking it up nicely, clean it, Ishraf.
Great tackle. Great tackle by Muhammad Azwan. Madzizi, Malaysia.
And gets a penalty, and here they come now, bursting up towards the 10-metre line, and Singapore have 2 players yet to get behind the ball. One looks injured. So Malaysia now on the front foot are up against 6 right now. Good bustling tackle from Rizaini there that throws the ball back several metres in the tackle. Singapore now all back behind the ball. They look like they've got a lame duck out on the wing. Kunasegaran with the show and go, falling nobody there. And if they can just be patient, Singapore, you'd think that eventually they're going to break this Malaysian defence. Here's the tackle you talked about. This is Teng. He skips inside too, and that's good play from the diminutive Teng Chong Yao. And as we said, it had to come, and they did have patience. They strike back.
They did strike back, and it was important to do so, considering they've had all the possession and territory. Singapore.
A rare try, a second try for Singapore in this first day here of leg 2 of the Asia Rugby 7 Series at beautiful Namdong Asiad Stadium.
Well, they're wearing their red shirts now, their other strip. The new shirts that they have. Very different side. Coach Mohammed Ismail will be happy with his start so far, former national player himself. Very exciting fullback centre wing in his day, in full flight.
Going deep, Kunasegaran spots some space down there, but picked off easily by Sadiq.
He's gone forward.
Yeah, he's lost that forward there. He'll be cross with himself, and he is. He's furious. Gets a high five from his teammates. Get your head up.
A bit of encouragement, and that's another lesson. You got to do your job, do it well, but don't try and do too much if you're in a risky situation like that with a defender, particularly on your own 22 in defence.
So last play of the half. It's a tight one here, as we'd expect between these neighbours. The grudge match. Good defence from Zulasham there. Around the arms, a ball and all tackle. The arm is out again. Nicholas Yao now tries to get the footwork going. Gets one around the shoulders for his troubles. Sadiq gives him the old stare down once he's on the ground there. He's going to have a shot here. Interesting decision. That was the half-time hooter, not the full-time hooter. And
it is an interesting decision, isn't it? And such is the rivalry and the close quarters of this game.
Kunasegaran from about 40 metres out. Oh, he's hit the crossbar. Incredible.
Where's the chasers?
Malaysians stood there looking at it in disbelief. But they finally got back. Who's this with the headgear on now? It's Zafran. They could just kick it out too, but no, they want the points. This is ferocious stuff from the Malaysians, but they've knocked it on. That'll be half time. Exciting. Look at that replay as it hits the crossbar on the underside there.
You don't see that often. A, in a game of sevens and a penalty just before half time, and B, actually hitting a crossbar. And both teams were slow to react. Eventually a chaser from Singapore.
So the loser of this would likely play Japan tomorrow to decide who will go into 7th and 8th playoff and 5th and 6th. And Malaysia finished 8th last week, Chinese Taipei 7th. And there's an incentive not to come last, isn't there, Justin? Because at the end of the series, bottom place will be relegated.
Correct.
And who are the contenders in the next division down to step up, do you think?
Well, you're a cross between Thailand, UAE, always Kazakhstan. There's a different issue there of their travel and availability. Philippines, of course. That they've got players that play in Sydney and Brisbane and Japan.
They got the chop, didn't they? This year they've cut it back from, is it 10 or 12 to 8?
12 to 8.
12 to 8.
If I remember correctly.
That's right. UAE, Kazakhstan, Thailand and Philippines all on the circuit last year.
Yep.
And there were some great battles for those bottom spots, but the clear gulf between the top 3 and the chasers, top 5.
Is that gap while everyone else is getting better, so is Japan, Korea, China, in both men's and women's. It's a shame Kazakhstan can't be with us, but they're always on that edge of the top 4.
I think we missed the women's too, don't we? The Kazakhstan women's, they make up a 4th strong contender to go with China, Hong Kong, Japan to make interesting semi-finals. There's a bit of a gulf there too, dropping back to say Thailand and
yep,
the Guams,
Singapore's
and the Uzbekis, Sri Lankans. So usually good battles in the bottom half of the draw.
And where the Sri Lankan girls aren't here this weekend.
That's right, replaced by the locals, the South Koreans, and I think Guam won't be in Sri Lanka. Deep kickoff this time down to Rizani. So this local grudge match, the battle of the border.
Across the Straits of Johor. Always, it's so important for both countries to beat the other one respectively.
It's like a Bledisloe Cup, is it?
Very much so.
Bragging rights for at least 3 weeks.
But for the moment. Well, he's injured his ankle here. Have a look at this. You just see that left ankle. It was poor old Muhammad Zaki Mahmood. He's in a bit of pain. You could see it. Not as bad as the poor fellow from Hong Kong.
Tom McQueen.
That was
buckled his knee.
Unfortunate for him. Beautiful playing conditions at the moment. The lights here at Incheon. The pitch is in magnificent quality.
Yeah, there's a real enjoyment on this grass. After playing on the artificial pitch 3 weeks ago, the players do prefer grass. Luckily we were on that artificial pitch because it absolutely hosed down for a full day in Hong Kong. Here we are on the grass. I enjoyed walking around it with my shoes off earlier. Matt Rodden gives a penalty.
Now that would, some referees may have a case there for a yellow card for a deliberate knockdown in that situation there. Referee Matt Rodden said no, you're just being annoying, you're going to get a penalty and a big warning.
Kunasegaran with that booming left foot of his, and that is an absolute cracking kick. That's world class.
Great gain for Singapore, right inside Malaysian territory, inside Malaysian 22. That's put them in a great attacking position. They've got to get this buffer and pull away from Malaysia, so they can put that pressure back on the Malaysians and get a score here from this opportunity and this field position.
Here they go then, clinging on to a 2-point lead. Can they increase that buffer? Converted try here, put them 9 points out. Can they unlock this Malaysian defence? This is Sydney Kumar, the big fella.
You can see the two different, the same style almost, both teams. Grant, how they're sort of not taking any risk with each other. Not a real go forward momentum. Attack deep, straight running. Almost jogging on the spot sometimes.
Yeah. Very apprehensive, but feeling each other out. Not willing just to pin it back and gun for it. So a little knock on by Singapore. Malaysian feed. It'll be Azwan to put this in.
4 minutes to go.
Singapore put the shove on, but Malaysia just scurry that one backwards. And this is Zafran, one of the playmakers, and he's with a little bit of footwork. He's going to go all the way. And that's a brilliant individual effort from Zafran under the post then to put them back in front with just 4 minutes remaining.
Yes, Zafran, Mohammed Zainuddin. That came out of nothing. It was right inside their own 22, Malaysia. They're going to get the extra points in the conversion, so that is a very important score by Malaysia. Here it is, inside the 22. Sizes up the Singapore defence, gets around one, splits the other Singapore defender. Again, perhaps a bit of communication lacking with each other, and he split the two of them, and away he went. So, Malaysia the upper hand.
3 minutes left, still plenty of time and just 5 points in it. This is Teng, the try scorer, and just gone backwards, says Matt Rodden. Luckily for Kunasegaran, he would have been bricking himself there. Let this side down on the 22. Bit of a headlock going on there, and Matt Rodden says, no headlocks, thanks, not the WWE.
Daryl Chia there for Singapore.
Kunasegaran can't manage to peel off another 60 like he did last time, but they're on the halfway now with an attacking line out. There's going to be some subs.
Fresh legs at the end. This is a critical time for Singapore. They have to not only win this ball, but if they're going to force the issue against Malaysia, with 2 minutes to go, they've got to get down the other end and score.
And it's Brian Ung that's come on, a strike player, wearing the headgear after his concussion.
Oh, well done there by Nicholas Yao. Took it forward, but hello. Having a bit of a chat to someone for a little bit of a high tackle, I think.
Yeah, I think he's taken one for the team there. It's 2 in a row, so someone had to go. Don't think the tackle itself was really that bad, but...
So anything around the neck these days in a wrestling type of embrace, the referees are being very hard on.
There he is on the naughty chair, and he won't see any more of this match. So he'll be looking on apprehensively as his boys defend their lives.
You can see there just unfortunately wrapped his arm around.
Yeah. It's difficult,
Nicholas
isn't it?
Yao's neck. It's very difficult, particularly when the player's slipping down. It's a Malaysia under pressure though. Singapore need to get the ball.
Can they see off Singapore for just over a minute now? There's Brian Ung, the headgear, number 11, getting busy just on the field. He'll be looking to impose himself, and that's not what Singapore would have wanted.
That was bad discipline. You see his hand come out there and knock the ball.
There is the hooter. So if they kick it out, they will get the penalty. That's what you do. You tap it and kick it out to end the game. Good knowledge of the laws by Malaysia. And they have beaten their neighbours Singapore. Some sort of revenge from leg one. 12 points to 7. Good match. Singapore will be that face Japan tomorrow. 5 plays 8. 6 plays 7. As we prepare now for China, Sri Lanka, the top of the table, top of the pool clash in Pool B. This should be interesting.